Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Total Football Talk. So we're going to look at all the latest news coming out of Manchester United. We'll have a quick reflection on the match last night. How are we all feeling? 1-1 or 2-1? Sorry, not 1-1. Draw away at Lyon. Do we believe that that's a good result? Onana, the culprit of our issues again, which is really really frustrating. As my thumbnail says, what else do we expect from Onana at the minute? He is literally just going through a constant stage of, maybe he has a patch where he plays well and then a patch of ridiculousness. He again, last season he cost us Champions League. This year he could potentially cost us Europa League, which will effectively cost us Champions League next year as well. How long will we persist with this goalkeeper, and how long will Ruben Amorim give him the opportunity to rectify his mistakes? Because for me, I am at a stage now where he's done for me. I would like to see Bienda come from the Newcastle game on just the fact that I'd like to see him get some game time and then bring him back in for the second leg of this particular tie, because I'm so frustrated with Onana. He's had his chances and he's made so many blunders. People talk about David De Gea making mistakes. He did, and granted, he did have some bad ones, but he had his mistakes over a much longer period of time than Onana had. Onana's been in a couple of years and he's made just some horrific howlers in a very short period of time. So it's really, really frustrating that Onana has let us down. And so it feels like Manic got into his head. And I was saying yesterday in my other video that we wanted, I didn't mind the little, kind of tete-a-tete, the little sort of boxing sort of where you're doing that sort of standoff and you're talking the talk. But unfortunately, Onana can't walk the walk. Unfortunately, he failed to do that. He literally fell off a cliff and smashed his head into the rocks because he's just failed on what he kind of set out to try and do. And Matic got into his head, and unfortunately, Matic won. And Matic was, in his mind, right. And I just think from that, I would like to see Bienda given a chance going forward. Not going to go in any further on Onana. Everyone else is probably going in on him. It's just been very very poor, because we could have had a really good victory. 2-1 away from home at Lyon. Really difficult game. Would be absolutely brilliant, but unfortunately, Onana has kind of left us in a more difficult situation back at Old Trafford. Now, this is what Ruben Amorim had to say on Lenny Yoro. He's a top player. Trust me, he's really good. He's really confident. He's improving his physicality. We're seeing the work that he's doing with the staff, and he feels at home at our club. And I'm delighted that we have him, because he's getting better. He's getting faster. He's getting stronger. Go back to that game against Southampton where the winger on the left side, can't remember his name now, tore strips off him. He's improved constantly from that. He's learned from that night. I always believed he would. He's 19. The kid will only just keep getting better, as long as he keeps improving and working hard. And I love the mentality of what he said after his goal. And this is what he said on his goal. He said, "We wanted to win, no time for celebrations." And I just think that shows the mentality of the kid. He is striving for better. He wants to win. He wants to be a winner. He wants to have the right attitude. He wants to conduct himself in the right manner. And I think these are all brilliant and positive things that are coming from this kid. He understands that he's disappointed that his goal just got United back into the game, and then they had to carry on fighting after that. I just think as a 19-year-old, we are very very lucky to have him. I'm glad we got him over Madrid, because Madrid could see the qualities. We seen the qualities and we got him, and he may go to Madrid in the future, which will be disappointing if he does. But if we can get quite a few good years out of him, that would be absolutely fantastic. And this is what Statman Dave was saying. At 19 years, 4 months, and 28 days, Lenny Yoro becomes the youngest player to score a goal for Manchester United in European competition, which is absolutely brilliant. Great to see that the young kid is firing on all cylinders. He's got his first goal for Manchester United. I'm absolutely delighted for him. The youngest defender. It's a lovely little record for him to hold. And we just hope that he can stay fit now between now and the end of the season and help us move forward, especially in the Europa League. Brian Cherky, on the other hand, what he said is when they come with two defensive midfielders is because they fear us particularly. We're going to play attacking football, and we're going to go with the idea of getting the victory at Old Trafford. Very very confident from Cherky there. Obviously, he believes that they were the better team. Maybe they might have shaded it slightly in some areas. We did give them a couple of chances. Onana did give them their goals in large parts. But if they come attacking us, that'll be interesting. I hope they do, because if they do, then the pitch will open up and we'll get opportunities to break on them. And if we can just get Xerxes playing in, maybe Bruno, or maybe Mount will play, or maybe Garnacho, who had a bit of a mixed bag last night. In some cases he did okay, in some cases he could have made better decisions. I think we'll be if they come to attack, it'll play into our hands, I think, and we will have a really good chance of going through and putting them to the sword. But yeah, again, depends on who's in nets and whether we're going to give up a lot of chances, which hopefully we won't. Okay, so this is what Ruben Amorim had to say on Rasmus. He said he did a lot of runs and pushed the team forward in moments when we were struggling to press the opponent. Rasmus did work hard, but unfortunately that's about all he did in the match. He ran up, he tried to close the space down as much as he could. I think the kid's just lacking in confidence. He had one shot that dropped to his stronger left foot and he just kind of scuffed it wide. He had on several occasions he couldn't quite hold the ball up. He got the ball taken off him. Just seems to get his body in the right place, but somehow the defender always seems to nick the ball away from him, which is really frustrating. Sometimes he'll make a run and he just can't hold the ball up at all. And then there's other times maybe when he should be in the box when he's not, or he's in the wrong part of the box. I just feel like everything the kid's doing at the minute is just not working for him. And when Xerxes came on, Xerxes was in a much stronger position. Obviously he got the goal and he played very well, which was great to see. And I just think that, it's just highly frustrating that it's just not working for Rasmus at the minute, and maybe he does need to be dropped for the next couple of games. Maybe even bring Cheeto in and for the Newcastle game and have Xerxes around, and just look at some other options, because Rasmus needs he needs to be taken out of the firing line, because it's just not happening for him at the minute. It's just unfortunate for the kid. It's just a shame. But looking at some transfer news, Manchester United have held a meeting with Omar Kamara's agent in recent days, and they're pushing for a move because Dortmund are also in contact. And there's two other young players, Sangara and Alex Tepe, are also serious sort of interest from Manchester United on these two players. Now, PSG obviously have some brilliant young players come through. Look at Doué at the minute, particular the other night. He was fantastic against Aston Villa. And he also played very well when he came on against Liverpool. Kids got massive potential, and PSG have some very, very good kids in their ranks. So we obviously have the link with Jean-Claude Blanc and PSG, so maybe we're tapping into that. And if this young kid is, and we maybe get another one or two from PSG, again, great coups for the club. But we can't have too many kids trying to come into the team. These kids will probably have to come into the under 18s and try and prove their worth there, and then on 21s and kind of so on and so forth. But we are still trying to move forward in the transfer market before the transfer window opens in June, with some fine prospects. So let's see what else comes from that. And then finally, we're just looking at Tyler Dibbling. Southampton are expected to let Tyler Dibbling leave for around 35 million. The 19-year-old is set to reject a new contract and is receiving concrete interest from Manchester United. Now, we know that Jason Wilcox obviously has a relationship with Southampton, and maybe we're using that to help work this deal. 35 million, again, maybe that's much closer to the mark that, as I thought they were talking 100 million, which is absolutely laughable. 35 million, maybe it's in and around that market that Tyler Dibbling could be got for. But again, another young player who will have good games and bad games. So if he is someone who comes in, we have to be careful with it. But that seems a more realistic price tag if we were to kind of make a move for him. But if we're bringing Dibbling and Delap, that concerns me, because I just don't think it's enough experience. Some look at Dogger, he's still taking his time to get settled at United. He did well in large parts last night, and I'm behind the kid, but he's going to have mistakes and he's going to have bad games, as will Dibbling, as will Delap. And as I mentioned yesterday, look at Hoyland and Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson had a brilliant season for Brighton 2 seasons ago. Last season he dropped off, he got injured, and now he's out on loan. Rasmus had a good season for United. Second season syndrome, hasn't really performed this season. Unfortunately, it's been a real struggle for him. Delap has had one season in the Premier League. Will he have second season syndrome? I don't know. But yeah, Tyler Dibbling, 35 million. Get your comments in below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the match last night. Anything that you want to throw in there from anything we've talked about this morning, please throw your comments in. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, it's just a shame that we are feeling slightly deflated this morning after what could have been a really sort of rousing victory, which would have took us back to Old Trafford and put us in a great position. But we carry on. We get ready for the next game, Newcastle at the weekend. And yeah, if you're enjoying the content, please hit the old like button. That would massively help me out. Thumbs up. And if you would subscribe, which would get you into the comment section, it's free. Go for it. Get in there. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, please, thank you for all the views so far. And I'm going to leave it there, and we will do it again tomorrow. Thanks, guys. See you soon.